talk about the weight thing because that was something that we talked about a lot as a family. Like, I'm like, Dad, stop bringing up the scale. Cara's going through this, this, and this. And he's like, I just need her to be 100%. I need her to do this to heal properly. What do you think, looking back, is the best way to handle that? Is there anything Dad could have said softer, or do you think he just needed to be
No, I do think the
candor?
issue with Dad is that it was so focused on the number on the scale. And he didn't tell me to do any of this gratitude practice, any of learning the science, any of the bath stuff. Like, I really do think you have to rewire your thoughts and learn the science in order first before you focus on that number on your scale. Like, as I said, the 25 pounds that I lost, I didn't weigh myself in that time period at all. I didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know it happened until my friends started telling me that my cheeks look snatched. No, but actually, I didn't even realize.
No, I think Dad learns too throughout everything that happens to us as a family, because as a young physician, you could hear him. He's like, stop eating that, eat that, lose your diabetes, get off the medication, like eat your G-bombs. And now he's like, you have to be grateful for the world around you. You have to breathe and focus on focus on internally generated self-esteem. He's realizing how powerful the mind is and how much it affects this stuff. And he always kind of knew, but I think we're all learning in this really new field.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all learning the best ways to move forward and help each other.
And to be fair, you do have to know the numbers on the scales with your patients, because if they're extremely overweight and they're not losing 2 pounds a week, they're not listening to you and they're not doing it properly.
Or there's something that needs to be addressed and needs to be fixed.
Totally. But I think for a patient that is uncomfortable seeing the number on the scale, you can have them. I have patients turn around when I weigh them, mm-hmm. and I'll figure out the loopholes and why they're not losing weight.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, you're 200 pounds and you need to be 195, like at this point, mm-hmm. right?
Totally. Because they could also, we've seen it happen where it's on the other side too, where they become a little neurotic, focusing like, I gained half a pound, and you're like, it could just be water. Let's see how it goes next week. It's this balance and this tricky, the mind and body are just so related, and mm-hmm. so they go hand in hand and piggyback off each other, that it's almost, you have to address both simultaneously to really make lasting impact.
And we are talking about food addiction, of course, but all of this applies to the other end too with anorexics. I think the same thing. If you learn the science, if you have the gratitude practice and you know all of this information, it's going to go that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's both ends.
Yeah. And I always like to say it's not demonizing certain foods. It's lifting up the foods that are really good for us. Like, it's so true that education is power, because we'll do a podcast episode on fish, or Dad will talk about omega-3s. I'll listen to him on some Zoom call. I'll get up and I'll be like, oh shoot, I forgot DHA EPA yesterday. I'll take it. Dad, you and Dad start popping off on lignans. I'm like, I haven't been doing 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. I've been doing 1. Hearing it over and over and over really motivates you to live this lifestyle and to do everything you can with the power of nutrition.
And there's so many resources out there. Of course, there's a lot of resources that are going to tell you the wrong information as well. But like this podcast, it's why I want to do this with you so bad, is because people can listen to this in the car and say, oh, that was a cool nutrition fact. I'm going to write it down and put it on my fridge. I'm going to put it in my bathroom mirror. When I was studying for boards, I also put note cards of all my studying materials. It's the exact same thing. We're studying how to eat and how to feel good.
And I'm so grateful for, so few people have this, but I'm so grateful for our relationship. We've been best friends our entire lives, and we're very close to our other siblings, but we're 2 years and 10 months apart. We have had all the same friends.
We're like twins.
Yeah, we're like twins. And we've been able to vent to each other mm-hmm. about how we eat, about dealing with social interactions. And I think it breaks our heart that not everyone has that. Mm-hmm. So if we can be that for other people, we want to be.
Absolutely. We want to be their bestie in their ear. We want them to be our triplet, talking about nutrition and
telling people it's okay to be themselves and to eat healthy, or to not drink, or do these things that society is telling us is weird.
Totally. For so many years, I did things that I didn't want to do, like going out for drinks, eating French fries, and I would feel so bad about myself the next day. And now that I do none of that, I couldn't be more confident in who I am, and I love the decisions that I'm making.
Okay, I have to dig into that. More confident. How did you become more confident?
By making choices that aligned with who I am and what I want.
You feel more seen for exactly who you are.
Yeah, I feel like I am doing what I want to do as a person. I've always wanted to be as healthy as I can be, but I thought I couldn't because my friends didn't do that, or it wasn't socially normal.
Yeah.
And so that came with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. You're a very fun and silly person naturally. Like, ever since you were a kid, you were definitely like being in a room, making weird, loud noises, dancing, all this stuff. And I feel like society told you that you couldn't do that unless you were drunk or I don't.
No, I completely agree. I felt that if I didn't have drinks, I wasn't fun enough or something like that. And I do feel like for many years, my sparkle was dulled. I don't think a lot of friends that I met later in life would say I'm very silly. I like to dance. I'm outgoing. I became more quiet and reserved in certain situations because I was so in my head because I was like, oh, I should do a little, but not too much. And I didn't know if I should say something or not say something. I was always second guessing myself, really. And it's crazy that changing my food choices and being more confident in that is more confident in everything in my life.
Yeah.
In interacting with friends, in going anywhere, in my relationship.
Yeah. No, because at the end of the day, people just want to be who they are and get back to that person unadulterated by any outside influence, negative or positive. Like if you could get back to being that childhood sparkle. And I think what's so powerful about diet and nutrition is food lets you be the best person possible because you're not being bogged down by sickness.
It brings out your inner child.
It really does. So like the mental and physical synergy that people can experience, that we've experienced, is so powerful. And I think people just need to know it's okay to be who they authentically are, and trying to be someone else or being who society wants you to be isn't helping you in the end.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm so passionate about educating people, because I'm not saying I'm not here to judge you, and I'm not going to judge you. I'm confident in the decisions I'm making, and I want you to be confident in the decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
But that's why I think education is so powerful, because it gives people the power to make their own choices.
Yeah. And I think we are around people way less than mom and dad. We have people in our lives who live very different lifestyles than us. And it's okay. We don't judge them. We still have great relationships with them. And sometimes we change people's lifestyle, and sometimes they're very similar to our own, and sometimes they're not. And we're still okay sitting in that pocket because we're so okay with who we are.
Absolutely. And I've lost friends over them not being okay with me changing. But that's fine, because I have a lot of friends who don't care one bit, and they eat and drink very differently than I do, and we don't care at all. We don't judge each other. We still bond over other things. We go to workout classes together. We go on trips together, and it's never been an issue.
Yeah. And I love that when you fall into the pattern of like who you want to be and going to workout classes and going on hiking trips, doing those things, you start to meet other people that do it, and you become even happier and happier. So it really is a snowball effect. And I feel like it's an effect that's led you further and further away from that person that was suffering from food addiction. Like
100%.
I do really think you've grown so much.
100%. I'm a completely different person, quite frankly. And along the journey, I've met a lot of people who are plant-based and who do want to eat this way, even through Instagram, which sounds crazy. But I was struggling for friends. I was struggling for friends when I was also in this time period, and being more confident in my decisions has brought me friends that also think it's cool what we're doing.
I always liked you, for the record, regardless of what you were going through, but I do love seeing you smile more. And I think that's really magical.
Thank
so I'm
you very
happy you're in a
much.
better place. But I've always liked you.
You have always liked me. And I will say that anything I've gone through, I could have never done without you.